Good morning friends, welcome back to Parnika tutorials. In the last video, I have discussed about instance variable, class variable and static variable. I hope you have watched that video. If you did not watch that video or if you don't know that concept, I request you to go back and watch that video. In this video, I want to discuss about methods such as instance method, class method and static method in detail. So I sincerely request everyone to watch the complete video for better understanding. Using instance method, we can access the instance variables. Similarly, using the class method, we can access the class variable. Whereas using the static method, we no need to access anything. Means we are not accessing because we have only two types of variables. One is instance variable and another one is class or static variable. But coming to the method, we have three methods. So using instance method, we can access the instance variables. Using class method, we can access the class variable. Static method is simply just to discuss, we have a static method. Okay. Now let me erase this one so that I will discuss these three methods with an example. Now let me create a class called student. So I will write a keyword called class and I will use the class name called student. Now what I will do is that I will create a class variable called college. Okay, I'm writing it as college. I hope it is visible for you. College is equal to Parnika University. So this variable, I will call it as a class variable or static variable. Okay. Now I will define init method. So I will write def underscore underscore init underscore underscore. I will take three parameters. One is self, another one is name, and another one is roll number. Okay. Then what I will write the statement is self dot name is equal to name and self dot roll number is equal to roll number. Then I will define a method called display. So def display and I will pass a parameter called self. Okay, this method I will call it as an instance method. This method is an instance method. So you can access the instance variable. So the instance variables are name and roll number. So what I will do is that I will print them. Okay, self dot name comma self dot roll number. Now what I will do is that I will create two objects of student class. So now let me create two objects. One is S1 which is of an object of student class. Now I need to pass name and roll number. The name is Jesse. Okay, roll number is 20. Similarly, I am creating another object called S2 of a class called student. And let me write the name as Kohli. And you know that always Kohli tried to score 100 runs or a century. So let me write his roll number as 100. Now if I call the display method, which is an instance method, using the object called S1. So S1 dot display. Okay. Then what is the output we will get? We will get the output as S1, here it will come the same of self. So S1 dot name. So you will get the output as Jesse and S1 dot roll number. You will get the 20. Similarly, if you call the display method using the object S2 dot display, then you will get the output as Kohli comma 100. So this is the output you will get. So what is the use of instance method is you can access the instance variables. Now let me define a method called CV and I will pass a parameter called CLS. So this one I will call it as a class method. This is a class method. So what I will do is that using this class method called CV, I will access a class variable called college. So what I will do is that here I will write a statement called print, okay, the university name is college. Okay. See, here I have just written for fun as Parnika University. However, I don't have any intention to create a Parnika University. Okay, Parnika tutorials itself is sufficient. Now what I will do is that I will try to access the class method called CV with the help of object and with the help of the class name called student. Then what will happen, we will discuss now. So we have created two objects called S1 and S2. Using the object S1, I will try to access the class method. And remember one thing, for an instance method, you will pass the parameter called self. And for a class method, you will pass the parameter called CLS. Suppose if I write S1.CV, then what is the output you will get is that this method will be invoked and the statement will be printed. So Parnika, the university name is Parnika University. This is the output you will get. Similarly, if I access the class method with the help of class name, what is the class name? Here it is student. So if I try to access the class method called CV with the help of class name student, then lot of people will think that same output we will get. So it will invoke the class method called CV. So what is the statement is that print. So the university name is Parnika University. That is what everyone will think. But this is not the correct output. Instead of any output, you will get an error. Meaning is that you cannot access the class method using the class name. It is absolutely fine. But how can we access the class method using a class name? Nothing is impossible. There may be some solution. The solution is that you need to use a decorator called class method. Already in one of the previous video, I have discussed about decorator in detail. If you don't know, I sincerely request you to go back and watch the decorator concept, because decorator is very important concept in Python, and lot of students will neglect that concept, and the interviewer frequently asks that one. So we will use a decorator called class method. I hope it is visible for you. Okay, I will use a decorator called class method. Then if you access the class method called CV with the help of class name, then absolutely fine. The same output you will get. What is the output? The university name is Parnika University. So I hope you have understood in detail about instance method and class method. Now what I will do is that I will create a static method. Okay. So what I will do is that I will define a static method called SM. Okay. DEF SM. And remember one important point. When it comes to the instance method, you are passing a parameter called self, and similarly for a class method, you are passing a parameter called CLS. But however, for a static method, you will not pass either self nor CLS. Okay. Now what I will do is that I will print Parnika tutorials. In shortcut, I will write it as PT. Okay. Now remember one thing. I want to access the static method using one of the object. What is the object? S1. So what is the statement you have to write? S1, which is an object dot class static method, which is a method. So SM. Then lot of people will think that, sir, when you are trying to access the class method using an object, that is absolutely fine. When you are trying to access the class method with the help of class name, then only the decorator is required. So similarly, what the people will think that using the object, if I am trying to access the static method, absolutely fine. That is what people will think. But however, you will get an error. Okay. So the meaning is that directly you cannot access the static method with the help of an object. So what is the solution is that same. We need to use a decorator concept. So here the decorator we need to use it as, let me erase this one. The decorator you need to use it as a static method. Okay, for a class method we are using a decorator called class method. For a static method we need to use a decorator called static method. Once you use a decorator called static method, with the help of an object you can call the, or you can invoke the static method, then you will get the output as Parnika tutorials as PT. Similarly, if you are trying to access the static method with the help of class name, this is absolutely fine. Even without using decorator also, you will get the output as PT. I hope you have understood what is an instance method, class method and static method. Only few important points you need to remember is, for an instance method we will pass a parameter called self. For a class method we will pass a parameter called CLS. For a static method we will not pass either self or class. Similarly, for a class method, you need to use a decorator if you want to access the class method with the help of class name. Similarly, you need to use a decorator called static method if you are trying to access the static method with the help of an object. I hope it is clear for you. For better understanding, I will execute this program in Jupyter Notebook.
Now let me define student class, okay, and then I want to use the init method with parameters as self, name, and then a roll number. And then I want to write self dot name is equal to name, self dot roll number is equal to roll number, and then what I want to do, I want to define one more method called display, okay, and then I will write self. Then if I write print, the student name is, if I write self dot name, then it will give you whichever the object you are passing and its corresponding name, means student name. Then the roll number is self dot roll number. Okay, so as you are passing only self, this kind of method we will call it as instance method. Okay, now let me create one more method which is class method. Okay, so let me define class method as CM, and class method you know that it will take CLS only, so this one I will call it as a class method. Now class method will use the class variable, so let me define one class variable saying that college is equal to Parnika tutorials. Okay, then here I want to print the college name is, the college name is, then I will write student dot college. Okay, this will display the output as the college name is Parnika tutorials. Similarly, I want to define one static method. Let me write it as sm. It will not take any like self or class CLS. Now if I write the print, if I write I am a static method, that is with the output I am giving. Now look at here. If I define one object called S1 of student class and giving the two parameters as the name and another one is roll number. Now look at here. If I write S1 dot, what if I write S1 dot display, means I am calling the display function or a method with the help of an object called S1. then I will get the output as the I am means the student name is Jagadish, the roll number is 2. This is the output you will get because you are calling the display function, which is an instance method. So it will give you the output as the student name is Jagadish and the roll number is 2. Similarly, let's say that I want to create one more object called S2 of a student class. Here I am passing the name as Siri and roll number is 23. If I call the S2 dot display means with the help of the S2 object, I am calling the display function, then the student name will be Siri and the roll number will be 23. If you have a doubt, you can look at it. Now the objective here is that how can we call the class methods and the static methods. Okay, look at here. If I write the s2.cm, okay, then what will the output we will get? We are getting the college name is Parnika tutorial. Similarly, if I write s2.cm means sm, not cm, static method, then also I will get the output as, look at here. The sm takes 0 positional arguments but 1 was given. I hope you are able to understand. See, you are getting an error. So now what you have to do, you need to call the class method and static methods with the help of the what you called with the help of the class name. So look at here, student dot, if I write cm, it will also give an error. Okay, look at here. Again, cm missing one required positional argument, which is class. So what you need to do, you need to do the decorator, which is class method. Then this code will run. Look at here, the college name is Parnika tutorials, you are getting the output. Similarly, if you write student.sm, look at what will happen. I am a static method, output you are getting. Okay. But if I am calling the same one with the help of an object, then it is giving an error. So what you need to do, you need to do the decorator. You need to use the decorator called static method. Then look at here, if I remove this one and if I run the code, I will get an output as I am a static method. So I hope it is clear for you, the static method and the class method. A method which takes the one of the parameter as CLS, that method will call it as a class method. The parameter which does not take either self or CLS will be called as a static method. The static method, if you want to call with the help of an object, you need to use a decorator called static method. A class method, if you want to call using the class name, then you need to use a decorator called class method. I hope it is clear for you. If you still have any doubts related to the static method and class method and instance method, feel free to ask me in the comment section. I will try to clear your doubts as early as possible. Thank you for watching the complete video. Have a nice day.